stuff, Princess.
Oh, me too.
Your change. I hope you enjoyed your lunch.
Oh, it was lovely, wasn't it, Frank?
Not as lovely as you, my dear.
Oh, Frank, you say the nicest thing.
Oh, my trousers! I'll have to go and change.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frank. I'm such a clumsy mare. Ooh, that ain't right. If you think you can pass off dud notes on me...
I can assure you, madam...
Don't you madam me. Wait till my Frank hears about this.
Is there a problem, Mrs. O'Shea?
I'll say there is. This bloke passed me a dodgy tenner. I spilled my water on it and look what happened.
Excuse me. This is a forged £10 note and he gave it to me. I work in the printing trade, so I know about these things. Look, the ink's even rubbed off on my fingers.
He ought to be sacked.
If you could bear with me whilst I look into this, I'm sure we can get it resolved.
I haven't got time to hang about. I've got appointments to keep.
We won't keep you any longer than necessary, sir. John will organise complimentary drinks for the time being. Standby team. We have a case.
Here are the files.
Thank you. Welcome to the Academy of Criminal Investigation. A serious crime has taken place in the hotel above and you are here to crack it. If you do entrance into the Academy as a should, do you think you have what it takes to be an investigator?
Yes, I do. My name's Shilpa and I'm 12 years old. I know that I'm good at easing awkward situations.
You are?
My name is Tommy, I'm 12 years old and I'm good at solving puzzles.
I'm Alexa, I'm 11 years old and I'm good at getting information out of people when they're not too comfortable about telling it.
Nice. Well, it's good to meet you. I'll let you know what I know about the suspect. Somebody has been passing off fake £10 notes here at the hotel. Usually guests use credit cards to pay for their meals and their drinks. They put it on their bills and they pay for it at the end of their stay. 3 guests have been using cash recently. That's Matthew Phillips, who's a greetings card salesman, and Frank and Suzanne O'Shea. They're a couple. Romantic getaway in the hotel. Frank O'Shea works as a security guard in a casino. Suzanne O'Shea is a housewife. Both Matthew and Suzanne claim they've been given fake £10 notes from a waiter, John Harley. Now, he's a relatively new employee at the hotel. He stays in the staff quarters, claims to know nothing about the fake £10 notes. That's what I know. Let's hear from the suspects themselves.
I spotted that the £10 note the waiter gave me was a forgery. I know about inks. The firm I work for prints greeting cards. There was something about the note that didn't look right. When I looked at it closely, well, you saw what happened to the one the waiter gave Mrs. O'Shea. I can't afford to lose money just like that. I overdid it on the credit cards last Christmas and I'm still trying to pay them off.
This has nothing to do with me. I'm just an innocent guest. Me and my husband came here for a nice, quiet break in the country. Something a bit upmarket. The last thing we expected was something like this. I mean, fake notes? Where could they have come from? Not from me, I can assure you. I got all my money from Frank. I tell you, this has come as a real shock. I think we should be getting some kind of compensation for all this upset.
I haven't been working at Kilcrammed long, just a few weeks. Mostly I haven't had to deal with cash payments because customers pay by their credit cards, but there's 3 guests who've been paying with cash since they arrived, and that's Mr. Phillips and Mr. and Mrs. O'Shea. I didn't know that money was fake. I didn't even realise there was a problem until Mrs. O'Shea knocked her glass and it made the die on that £10 note run.
Me and my Suzanne tend to use cash most of the time. Suzanne says she don't get the same buzz shopping with plastic. I prefer cash myself, as it goes. Way I see it, there's too much credit card fraud these days. Yeah, we had a problem with that at the casino where I work. Had to get the fraud squad in and everything. It's a good job my Suzanne knocked over that water. Even if she did give me an early bath, it soaked my trousers right through. To run upstairs and change.
Team, we're looking for motive and means and opportunity. I'd like to ask you, even at this early stage, who do you think has the strongest motive?
I'm not sure at this very moment, but there is a chance that it could be Matthew. But I need to get some more evidence before I can say why.
I would say It's probably not Sue and Frank because they only came here for a quiet country holiday. So I'd probably go with Matt at the moment.
So the team have their suspicions about greeting card salesman Matthew Phillips, who works in the printing trade. But if they consider the evidence so far, they should see that waiter John Harley and guests Frank and Suzanne O'Shea could also be responsible for circulating the fake £10 notes. Not a lot to go on so far, but maybe these will help you out. This is our suspect timeline for you to plot where the suspects were, and this is your incident board. I suggest you use it to jot down anything that you think is interesting. Use it wisely, but be quick. If you could write your stuff down now, please.
Right, well, we know Suzanne and Frank are here just on a holiday.
And we also know that John Hartley is a new waiter, so there's a suspicion that he could have done it.
And Matthew's in the printing business, so...
He's certainly got the opportunity to do
Yeah,
it.
and
Yeah.
you know.
These have all been using cash, so that sort of links them.
And also, Suzanne has been getting money from her husband, so it is a chance that her husband had given her the fake money, but she didn't realise that.
The team are making some really good points, but time is of the essence, so we do need to move on.
He definitely would be able to get the right inks.
Yeah,
right?
because if he's already in a printing business, then he already
he
knows.
has a very good opportunity.
Agent Grant, here's the CD.
Thank you. Team, if you could gather round, our first piece of vital information has come through. This is CCTV footage. Very, very important, as we can see whether or not our suspects are telling the truth about where they were during the crime. You have to watch it really quickly, I'm afraid, because we can only detain the suspects for a short while. I've got to go back upstairs and comb the crime scene one more time.
Right,
That's
this is Matthew.
It's Matthew at 11 a.m.
Matthew car park.
Matthew.
And it's at 11 a.m. And now it's 11:01.
That's definitely John. He seems to
Yeah.
be arriving.
It's the couple, both with bags.
2:20 p.m. Who's this? That's
Someone. The person who's running up the stairs could be in a rush to do to give big money
to get
out or
his
something.
nose, to get it to dry his trousers.
Yeah,
That
that's
seemed to be.
But he's
He's just
come
changed
down
his
now.
trousers.
Yes,
that's
trying
Frank.
now.
This is Matthew.
It's Matthew.
Right, so...
If you could take this up to the forensics lab, please. Team, gather round. Have you got any interesting observations from the CCTV?
Well, I'd like to ask, what room is Matthew Phillips staying in?
Okay, Matthew Phillips is staying in bedroom number 5. Frank and Suzanne are staying in bedroom number 7, which is also on the mezzanine floor.
What reason did Matt have to go into the mezzanine after Frank had come down after he changed his trousers?
That's for you to work out. Anything else?
Suzanne and Frank, they both enter with what seems to be quite heavy bags, so that it might not be just clothes that are in there.
Good observation.
And also, when Frank goes to change his trousers, he goes at 2:20 and he comes down at 2:23. There is a chance that he could have gone and planted some money because it doesn't take you 3 minutes to change trousers. And also, John comes in an expensive sports car. He could have used the fake money somewhere else
Okay.
to buy the sports car, and now he's going to use it again in the hotel.
So the team think it's suspicious that John Harley, a waiter, can afford a new sports car. The CCTV has also revealed that Frank O'Shea and Matthew Phillips both went up to the mezzanine floor shortly after the fake notes were discovered, but it's not clear if this is relevant to the case. Now, if you can follow me, please, up to the forensics lab, I need to show you some more things I found in the hotel. When a criminal commits a crime, they leave behind trace evidence, small pieces of information that they don't even know they left behind. Things like flecks of skin, footprints, fingerprints, and this is the area where you look to find it. Listen up. Some more fake £10 notes have been found in the till to the bar lounge area. The only waiter that's been on today is John. Now, I've asked if I can check all their rooms, and the O'Shea's let me. No sign of fake £10 notes in there. I checked John, who lives in the staff quarters, and this envelope is full of £10 notes. Now, I don't know if they're fake or not, so that's for you to decide. Matthew agreed to the search, but after some persuasion, there were no sign of fake £10 notes. However, I did find this in his wardrobe. It's a raincoat, but if you check the back, there seems to be some ink up the back. You need to check that out as well. So if you can get busy, please.
Right, I'm turning the coat to find the ink stain. It's coming up a navy blue on the swab.
Shilpa, can you just examine these notes for me?
Yes, sir.
I'm just going to go and check this one.
Okay. Could you dim the lights, please? Okay, as you can see here, it's yellow, so this note's obviously real, because if it wasn't a real note, then it wouldn't have the yellow markings on it. So this one's not fake. That's real. Yep, this note's real as well. I'm shining the UV light over this note, but there's nothing coming, and there's no yellow marking, which shows the note's obviously fake.
Well, that one's definitely not a match. It's got a completely different shape. Last one. No, that's not a match either. I think the first one I had was closest. Well, I think I might have found a match here. It's got the same scar across there, and it's got the same shape in the middle. Yeah, I think that's definitely a match.
Yeah, but we've got the notes are fake, and
Loads of good chat going on. What are your latest findings?
Well, I found John Harley's and Susanna O'Shea's fingerprints on a fake £10 note.
OK. Why do you think they were on there?
They've obviously been handling them, but it doesn't mean they're the ones spreading them around. It could just sort of have circulated, because they say that they were both given £10 notes.
Good point.
I found on Matthew's coat stain is navy blue, so it could have come from one of the notes, but it's not likely.
OK.
okay, I discovered that John Harley's notes were fake, so either someone could have given them the notes and he might not have known they were fake, or either he knew they were fake and was using them just instead of giving them real money.
Now you have to pull your ideas together. Who would you like to interrogate first?
Probably John Harley.
John Harley? Why?
Because we've got the most evidence against him, really.
Yeah, his fingerprints were found on the money.
So it's a unanimous decision. John Harley it is? Let's bring him down.
Take a seat, please.
Do you really know nothing about all these fake notes?
As I said before, I haven't got a clue. I just work at the hotel. I just put it in the till. I don't know what's going on.
And why did we find your fingerprints on some of those notes?
Because I'm the waiter and I have to hold the money and put it in the till. Whoever gives me the money, I have to deal with it.
Why was there a fake note in the envelope in your room?
Well, because 2 days ago, Mrs. O'Shea gave me a tip and I put it in my drawer.
And where did you get all that money for your fancy sports car?
It was an impulse buy from a credit card that I shouldn't have done, because now I'm having to live off a loan from my mother in Aberdeen until I get my first paycheck from here.
Who do you suspect?
Well, Mr. and Mrs. O'Shea and Mr. Phillips have all been paying with cash, like I say, which is quite unusual. But when the manager offered a free drink, Mr. Phillips refused, and was quite hasty in wanting to get away from us. So I don't know.
How long have you worked at the hotel and how much do you earn?
Well, I'm there for just a few weeks and I'm on £5.50 an hour, but like I say, I'm waiting for my first paycheck.
Thank you for your time. There are no more questions.
Mr. Grant, please, I'm innocent. I don't know what's happening.
I'm sorry, John, we won't keep you long.
Some new evidence here?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. There's been a further development. It seems that this carrier bag has been found in the window seat on the mezzanine floor. It's full of forged £10 notes. Now, there's no prints been found on the lid of the window seat. However, we are going to take this carrier bag back for further analysis. Who do we know that's been on the mezzanine floor?
Well, Suzanne and Frank, because they're right next door to it.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And Matthew as well.
OK, anyone else? What about John?
Well,
No, I don't think John's.
we haven't seen any evidence that he's been on the mezzanine level.
Well, you take a good look at that, and we're going back to the lab. Come on.
Okay. It's coincidence, isn't it? It's only.
Well,
the-
yeah, and it's right next to their bedroom.
Exactly. So
Look, Matthew could have put it there, so
Yeah,
we think that it's these two.
A number of fake £10 notes were discovered at the hotel after guest Suzanne O'Shea accidentally spilled water on her change at lunch. Waiter John Harley gave Suzanne the fake note, but claims not to have known it was a forgery. John has told the investigation that 3 guests have been notable in their use of cash, namely Suzanne and husband Frank O'Shea, and greetings card salesman Matthew Phillips. Matthew claims that he too was given a fake note in his change by the waiter, but the team find it suspicious that he also works in the printing trade. In the forensics lab, the team identified a fake £10 note in an envelope addressed to John Harley and found Suzanne's fingerprint on another fake note. They also analysed blue dye stains on Matthew's coat, but they concluded that they were not a likely match for the ink from the forged money. A plastic bag full of forged notes has since been found hidden in the sitting room on the mezzanine floor where Matthew and the O'Sheas are staying. This team seem to be very methodical in their approach. They're not going on gut instinct, which in criminal investigation is a good thing. I presume those are the credit checks I asked for.
The
What do they say?
reports says Matthew Phillips is badly in debt of credit cards. Frank and Suzanne have not used credit cards or made a withdrawal from their bank account in 2 months. And John Harley is badly in debt to car finance company.
What'd you make of that?
It's really Suzanne and Frank. They may not have taken money from the bank because they might have used the fake money instead, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't need to take the money out of bank.
So they're probably
quite
prime
suspicious.
suspects at the
It's
moment.
time now to interrogate your second suspect. Who would you like?
Suzanne.
Suzanne.
We would have maybe used Frank, but we haven't got as much information on him.
So it's Suzanne.
Yeah.
Let's bring her down.
Blimey, this wasn't in the hotel brochure.
Sit down, please.
Hello.
Hi. Do you know anything about the carrier bag on the windowsill in the sitting room?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Are you sure?
Yes, my darling, I'd tell you if I knew.
Where did your husband get his money from?
He works, my darling. He's got a job. In fact, he's got 2 jobs.
What's his other job?
He is a security guard, and recently he's been working as a handyman as well to make a bit of extra cash, you know.
Why were your prints on the money?
I don't know. I must have touched him.
When?
I don't know, darling. I touch money every day. I mean, you know, I'm sure you do yourself.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're desperate for money?
Not at all. My Frank has worked very hard for me to keep me in the manner I'm accustomed to.
So basically you've never ever been desperate for money, you've always had
Never, no. He's a great provider.
If you had a suspicion of anyone, who would it be and why?
And that Mr. Phillips, when the waiter came and gave us a free drink, he left the room. Where did he go, my darling? I don't know.
Why did you accuse the waiter?
Because he was the one that brought me the money. Listen, I just know that that waiter has got a very strange look about his face, you know? I gave him £10 the other day as well. I want that back if it's not fake.
Okay, thanks for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you for being so compliant. Team, the scientists have just checked the CCTV for the last 3 days, and John was never even seen entering the mezzanine floor.
I don't really think it was him.
Neither do I, but...
There's not really much evidence pointing to him. Is there?
There's more towards Suzanne and her husband. I think we should ask her husband.
What, instead of
Matthew? We could ask her what does he do a job as a handyman?
This was found in the dining room.
Thank you.
What's that?
Looks like a napkin.
Terrible.
Looks like
Hey,
it's
wait,
definitely
these might be like stains of the notes.
ink stains.
Yeah.
Ink
Ink
stains.
stains.
Look, they're brown.
Just like the notes.
So we just need to find out who.
We need like a DNA test.
We should do. This one's a bit yellow,
Fingerprints.
isn't it? This one, yellowy brown.
see. Yeah.
OK, traces of a medicated anti-dandruff shampoo were found on the inside of the plastic bag. Traces of the same product were found on some of the fake banknotes. It can be assumed that a bottle of shampoo may have been kept inside the bag at some point and possibly leaked. The shampoo traces have been matched to identical bottles of a popular brand of anti-dandruff shampoo found in the rooms of Matthew Phillips and the O'Sheas. Suzanne O'Shea's fingerprints were found on the bottle in the O'Shea's room, but Frank's were not. So it can be assumed that the bottle is hers. What do you think of that?
Well, Miss O'Shea must have had something to do with that, because why would her plastic bag with traces of her shampoo be in there? I mean, okay, it could be Frank who could have taken her bag.
Could be Matthew's as well, so it's a chance it's either of theirs. But
So, who would you like to interrogate?
I think it could be Matthew.
Remember, you can only interrogate one more, either Matthew or Frank.
Yeah.
Frank O'Shea. No,
Okay,
I
one
think it might be
sec.
Frank now.
I'll go for Matthew.
I think it's Matthew.
Let's see.
Yeah, Matthew.
Who would you like to interrogate?
Matthew.
Why?
Because
He disappeared into the mezzanine.
Let's bring him down.
You can take a seat, please.
What sort of hotel is this?
Please sit down. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Is this going to take long?
Do you know anything about the plastic carry bag that was found on the window seat in the sitting room in the mezzanine level?
Plastic carrier bag?
Yeah.
No.
We found some ink on your overcoat. Where did that ink come from?
I work for a printing card company, so I'm surrounded by ink all the time. So it could have been any... I went into the company headquarters last week, so it could have easily got on then.
What kind of work are you doing here?
I'm a travelling salesman, so I have to meet clients and try and drum up a little business.
So you're here to sell
So
your...
I'm based here while I travel around and meet my various clients.
Would you know how to make fake money? Because you work in a printing company.
We print cards, not money. So I think the answer would be no.
You wouldn't know anything how to print it.
I know how to print because I have some sort of connection with the printing business, but I'm a salesman, not a printer.
Okay, so you wouldn't have... Would you have the right inks maybe to print money?
I'm afraid I wouldn't know anything about that.
You're in a lot of debt. Would you make fake money as a last resort to pay it back? Would you?
I'm in a lot of debt because I bought some presents for my children. Now that is not a crime. What is a crime is you holding me up when I should be going out and doing some work to actually pay off those debts.
Why did you go up to the mezzanine? We saw you on CCTV when John Harley, the waiter, was giving out the complimentary drinks.
Because I've got work to do. I told you I'm a busy man. I need to make some money to pay off those debts, which you've so kindly mentioned. I went up to do some paperwork, which is exactly what I should be doing now.
Right, thank you for your cooperation. That will be all.
I can go now. This is ridiculous. I want to see my lawyer.
If you could just sit down, please, otherwise you might be needing a lawyer. Team, it's time now to tie up all your loose ends, because in just a moment I'm going to be asking you who you think the real criminal is. Go on. Good luck.
I think
I think it's Frank.
Okay. Frank.
I think.
So, because he owes a lot of money.
He had time between when he was going to change his trousers, so he could have hid the money.
And I think the napkin's his.
He would have easily had access to his wife's carrier bag with his wife's shampoo.
Yeah.
Since it took about 3 minutes, you know, he might have hid the money or
It
something.
can do
anything
about
in
1
3
minute to
minutes.
change your trousers.
Yeah, exactly, and you can do anything in 3 minutes.
He could have given the fake money to Suzanne O'Shea, and she would have touched it, obviously. And then John Harley said that she gave him a tip. I think it's Frank.
Right.
Frank decided.
It's time to bring down the final suspect.
You all right, sweetheart?
Oh, darling, we should have gone to Bognor.
It'll all be over very soon. Team, you've seen all the evidence. You've interviewed 3 of the 4 suspects. I want to know, who is your prime suspect?
We think the suspect is Frank.
Frank. Why?
Because most of the evidence pointed to him, and when he was changing his trousers, he had the time to hide the money.
Okay.
So we think it's
Interesting theory. Are you all agreed?
Yes.
I wonder if you're right. It was Frank O'Shea!
We did it! Woohoo!
Frank is obviously a man worried about the rate at which his wife spends money. My guess is that he met someone at the casino who offered him a caseload of fake money, and he took it. The problem was, the ink wasn't that good, and when it ran on one of the notes, Frank realised that he had to get rid of the whole lot. So he used the spilled water as an excuse to run upstairs to their room. He moved the money from the case into a plastic bag he found in the bathroom. He hid the bag in the window seat in the sitting room before going back down to join his wife. I expect he planned to retrieve the money later, but unfortunately for Frank, he didn't get the chance because the bag of money was found.
Frank, how could you?
Thank you very much for your cooperation. You're all free to go. Frank, you stay where you are. Well done, congratulations. You did it, team. Well done. Another crime solved and another 3 recruits to the academy. Who did you suspect?